What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia, a special Emmys edition coming at you on a Thursday, most likely, maybe a Friday. We'll see how fast we can
Thursday.
edit this. But this is Pat Sheehan with my co-host Dave Martinson. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm actually annoyed that we totally
Forgot about this.
forgot about the Emmys happening.
Yeah.
It feels like it's early. I don't know if that's true. It happened in September, but last year. But I don't know. It just felt like it snuck up on us. But we had so much
Yeah,
to catch
definitely.
up on last week, so that's not going to contest Nostalgia Pod. So it's justified. But we don't want to not do this episode, so that's why we're coming at you with the second one this week.
Content. Oh, that was a weird way to say
Hashtag
it.
content. Because we're
So,
still, grinding with this, subscribe on YouTube. Help us out.
yeah, right there.
Yeah. You'll see it on the screen.
So let's just jump right into it here. We're gonna start with doing the main actress categories. Obviously, look at comedy, uh, limited series, and drama. Actress in a limited series or movie. So we have Judy Davis for Feud, Betty and Joan, Laura Dern for Big Little Lies, Jackie Hoffman, Feud, Betty and Joan, Regina King, American Crime, Michelle Pfeiffer with The Wizard of Lies, and Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Big Little Lies. So who you got?
Shout out Shailene for getting in there. Literally everyone who acted on Big Little Lies got in the Space League except Zoe Kravitz. So, shout out Shailene. She doesn't have a chance. I think this is actually one of the more tougher to call races, I think, when I was, really crunching numbers. I think Laura Dern has a good chance because, Big Little Lies, HBO really pushed for this for the limited series. HBO is a big voting block at the Emmys. I think Laura Dern is a really good bet, but Judy Davis for Feud, Betty and Joan is also a good call because she's been nominated 12 times and has 3 wins at the Emmys. So, they
Right.
know her. And Regina King won last year for American Crime, which has since been canceled. So you'd see it going that way. So it could really go in any direction, but I think I'll go with Laura Dern.
I had Laura Dern picked out too, actually. Something to notice though, and you'll see the trend as we move forward. Talking about the limited series is pretty much they're all FX or HBO.
Pat, I'm glad you brought that up. So, in general, HBO was naturally the most nominated network this year. Once again, 110 nominations, up last year from 94, and FX was 4th this year, 54 nominations, down from 56 last year. So, we talk about those networks a lot, and it makes sense that they're all over the place.
Represent. All right, so let's jump right to supporting actor then in the limited series or movie. We got our man Bill Camp for The Night Of, Alfred Molina, Feud, Betty and Joan, Alexander Skarsgård, Big Little Lies, his brother, killing it in It right now. David Thewlis, Fargo, Stanley Tucci, Feud, Betty and Joan, and Michael K. Williams, The Night Of. Personally, I think Bill Camp has got this, but
do you? You think he's got it?
Do you think David Thewlis is going to pull this out?
No, I don't think David Thewlis got it. So I would love Bill Camp to win. We talked about The Night Of extensively last summer when it came out, one of the older shows, in the, this Emmys. We love The Night of a Lie. Bill Camp, great character work, right? Really under the radar role,
right?
And he's very deserving. I'd love to see him get it. I think Alexander Skarsgård has momentum with Big Little Lies. He's not the best choice, but got to mention that. I think Alfred Molina though for Feud, Betty and Joan, he's a lot of experts are picking him because this show actually got nominated 18 times, which is tied for tied for third most nominations. So
wow,
and Alfred Molina is he's playing a real life character in this limited series. Yeah, the flip side of this, though, it's got a lot of nominations and it was kind of critically mixed, like the conversation around the show wasn't that strong. Like, there was a water cooler moment. But because it has such a big pedigree with all these big names, I think that's why the Emmys were drawn to it. So I could really see Alfred Molina pulling this out. But I would personally pick Bill Camp.
Yeah, it's interesting. Michael K. Williams getting the nod. It almost feels like he just kind of got thrown in there. He did very little on the night of. Jeez.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like he's good when he's on there, but it was such a very small role. You got to figure that's just HBO, just pulling its muscle, campaigning.
Absolutely. So just jumping forward, looking through the way the categories are lined up, I think we both want to give a shout out to Netflix. Black Mirror, San Junipero getting the nod for television movie, best television movie. I think that they got that category locked up. I mean, it seems like The Wizard of Lies has a lot of traction behind it too. But
yes, that's what Robert De Niro. That's about Bernie Madoff, and again, it's something that was critically mixed. But when a big actor like De Niro is on TV, they like to reward the method acting.
Right
now, I was actually looking into the category. So Black Mirror we would consider a limited series, right? An anthology series.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're one-offs, I guess you could say they're movies. So San Junipero was 61 minutes, so it just got into the criteria of being a television movie. Worth noting though, 2016, last year, Sherlock won this category, and Sherlock is nominated again. So I don't think it's a lock for Black Mirror, but I think Black Mirror is the best choice.
Yeah, well, we will see for sure a little bit. Supporting actress in a comedy series. A lot of Saturday Night Live love here. Oh my god, I can't talk today. And Transparent as well. So Kate McKinnon, Vanessa Bayer, and Leslie Jones. Vanessa Bayer getting a nod seems so random. Anna Chlumsky from Veep, and Judith Light and Catherine Hahn from Transparent. I mean, Transparent has gotten a lot of Emmy love in the past. Kate McKinnon's got this though. At least I think she's going to win.
She won last year. And I think it's interesting because she didn't have as big a presence on this season of SNL as she did the previous season. I think a big part of that is because Hillary lost. But at the same time, she's probably the best actor of that group.
By far.
I mean, because you really see Leslie Jones being picked over Kate McKinnon? I really don't think so.
No. Honestly was a little bit disappointing to me. But I think that's because the other category, like the lead actress in a comedy series, is so stacked, even though we pretty much know who's going to win that category. All right, supporting actor in a comedy series. We got Alec Baldwin, Saturday Night Live, Louis Anderson, who won it last year for Baskets, Ty Burrell, Modern Family, always gets the nod, Titus Burgess, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Tony Hale for Veep, and Matt Walsh for Veep. Titus Burgess, I feel like gets so much like play on the internet, and like he has great gifs, like reaction gifs. Mm-hmm. Kimmy Schmidt, everybody who watched it this year said that it seemed like jump a level this year. But I think Louis Anderson is probably gonna take it home again.
You think so? I think Alec Baldwin actually has a really good chance.
As Trump?
He dominated SNL.
True.
It's a political award.
I had him number 2.
Last year's Louis Anderson, like you said. No Brian Tyree Henry from Atlanta. I think he was very deserving.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I could see that. Alec or Titus Burgess or Alec Baldwin. It doesn't seem like the Veep guys got it. Tony Hale already had his moment.
Yep.
Ty Burrell had his moment long enough ago. Please don't pick him.
How is Modern Family still getting nominated for best?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I mean, it's the categories are generally fine, except for Modern Family still got nominated and House of Cards still got nominated. Like, it's very, very annoying.
Just like throw-ins, basically.
Yep.
All right, so for that category, it seems like Alec Baldwin or Titus Burgess seem like decent picks. I went with Louis Anderson as the repeat. Emmys always try to stay tried and true. We'll see how much they jump off that. Who won that last year?
Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson, that's right. I already said that. Brain fart. Supporting actress in a drama series. Ann Dowd, Handmaid's Tale, and Samira Wiley from The Handmaid's Tale. Uzo Aduba from Orange is the New Black. Millie Bobby Brown, Chrissy Metz, and Thandie Newton. Stranger Things, This Is Us, Westworld.
Right.
So, I mean, it's got to be 11.
You think so?
I don't know. What are your thoughts on the category?
Well, yeah, this is another one I think that's pretty wide open. Last year,
Yeah.
Mac Smith won for Down Abbey. Down Abbey's, and it's run, so it's
Mhm.
opportunity. Yeah, so I think Millie Bobby Brown has a decent shot, as does Chrissy Metz for This Is Us, because This Is Us, I think has like a really good momentum. But also Tandy Newton for Westworld. It's funny, Westworld is tied with SNL for 22 nominations this year, but everywhere I look, I see Westworld not winning.
Right.
But do you really think the most nominated show gets completely shut out? Personally, I wouldn't mind, because me and you have our critiques of Westworld, which you can find soundcloud.com/nostalgia pod.
Stay plugging.
But do you think if they were to give out and something, maybe Danny Newton, she's probably the best actor on the show.
I agree, and she was the best part of the show to me. I think we talked about that on the pod.
Agreed.
So yeah, I mean, I could see her maybe pulling this category in. Ann Dowd. It's so funny, and this actually brings up a good point, because we're gonna be talking about Carrie Coon in a little bit. Ann Dowd. I don't think I don't actually remember if she got nominated in the past for Leftovers, but the fact that Leftovers isn't on this is crazy. I could see her maybe getting some love just because she has such a body of work, and Handmaid's Tale is so hot in the street right now that
Right.
I could see her possibly pulling this. And it seems like a wide open category, but if I don't think Stranger Things is going to take home a lot of awards, so I think this might be where
Yeah,
they get their win.
that's solid logic as well. So yeah, this is definitely one that's pretty wide open.
So jumping to supporting actor in a drama series, we have John Lithgow, The Crown, Jonathan Banks, Better Call Saul, Mandy Patinkin, Homeland, House of Cards, David Harbour, Stranger Things, Ron Cephas Jones, This Is Us, and Jeffrey Wright for Westworld. Arnold. So I mean, my initial thoughts just reading through this category, there's a lot of really beloved characters here. Like, obviously Mike from Better Call Saul, one of the fan favorites. Uh, love it or hate it, Arnold was probably one of the biggest twists on Westworld, someone that people really sympathized with. Doug, Stranger Things, House of Cards, I'm sorry, with Michael Kelly, and David Harbour as, what was his name? As Sheriff.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember.
I can't remember. On Stranger Things, though, like those are all characters that were really beloved
Right.
in their own series. I want Harbour to win, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is one I think that's kind of be like a quote like boring win. It's probably Ron Cephas Jones for This Is Us or John Lithgow for The Crown. Last year was Ben Mendelsohn for Bloodline.
Right.
So obviously he's not there, and Jonathan Banks is well liked, but Michael McKean was better than him and didn't get nominated. Like Michael McKean was the standout role of season 3 of Better Call Saul. So that's it's kind of disheartening. There's no way House of Cards would win and Homeland would win. So, and again, I don't think Jeffrey Wright can beat the other people. So,
right.
Like you said about Millie Bobby Brown, does David Harbour get it for Stranger Things as like a nod to the show, perhaps? But I think it's going to be, one of the boring picks.
Yeah, and Lithgow played Churchill too in this. So if that means anything, I don't know. But usually, if you play like a role like that, some like historical figure has a lot of can play a role into. So I can see Lithgow winning it. Jumping forward, though, this is a interesting category. Limited series actress, best limited series actress, Carrie Coon for Fargo, Felicity Huffman for American Crime, Nicole Kidman for Big Little Lies, Jessica Lange for Feud, Susan Sarandon for Feud, and Reese Witherspoon, Big Little Lies. Right. I mean, some heavy hitters.
Definitely. I think that's the most stacked category.
By far.
Last year was Sarah Paulson for People versus OJ.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one's interesting because, as you said before, Leftovers got completely snubbed, and Carrie Coon was the best aspect of that. And
by far,
she would be, a great contender for lead actress in the drama series. So would her good, not great, turn as Gloria Bergel on Fargo be selected as a, hey, keep doing what you're doing win? I don't know. I think Nicole Kidman is the better Big Little Lies pick because she played like a more damaged character, right? But at the same time, don't count out the Feud people sneaking in.
Yeah, I know Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon. I mean, two just like studs in their field. I guess it's such a stack category. I really feel like any of them are deserving. I'd love to see Carrie Coon get it though, as a nod to Leftovers, and I mean she was pretty good on Fargo too.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so limited series actor. We have Riz Ahmed for Night Of, Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock, Robert De Niro The Wizard of Lies, Ewan McGregor Fargo, Jeffrey Rush for Genius, and John Turturro for The Night Of.
Yes.
Now, I mean, initially I think Jeffrey Rush for Genius, but Genius, I've actually heard from people that have watched it say they ride with that show, man. They get a lot of love.
And Jeffrey Rush is beloved. You know, he's won many Oscars, or he's been nominated for many Oscars anyway. You know, this one obviously got it. Here's our chance now. Jude Law, Young Pope, completely fucking snubbed. It's a damn disgrace that show got
crazy
nothing. Now, I think a big part of that is not enough people watched it. It came out in January,
right?
Also because it premiered on Sky Atlantic over in Europe first. HBO only distributed here, so HBO didn't have as much skin in the game to campaign for it. That being said, it's bullshit that you need to campaign for shit. You're in the Emmy voting block. You should watch the good TV. Hence, Leftovers. That being said, I think Riz Ahmed and John Turturro, it's like a coin flip. I love Riz Ahmed. I really want him to win. That being said, Robert De Niro, Wizard of Lies, could just swoop in because, you know,
he's De Niro.
Actor, you know, I'm really rooting for Riz Ahmed. And I think he actually has a really good chance.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Riz Ahmed, and I think if anybody's gonna take it home from the Night Of, it's gonna be him. Turturro was good, but I mean, Ahmed was the one who really like moved the show along. He was the through line through all of it. You know, his
role also changed too. You know, since when he went to Rikers than before, so he had like more range.
It's that we like shouted out like for Ewan McGregor. I mean, that also speaks to the quality of these limited series as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So just go to the limited series category since we just finished up with the actors and actresses. We have Big Little Lies from HBO, Fargo, FX, Feud Betty and Joan, FX, The Night Of, HBO, and Genius, National Geographic getting that nomination.
Yeah.
Who won this last year?
People versus OJ.
Oh, right.
And lead actor that we just talked about, that was Courtney B. Vance. People versus OJ, you know, cleaned up Sterling K. Brown, Sarah Paulson. They won a lot last year. But this one, we like The Night Of a lot, but I don't think The Night Of has a fighter's chance at all. I think it's
really.
I think it's Big Little Lies or maybe Feud, but probably Big Little Lies. I think this is actually one of the locks, if anything.
Interesting. Yeah, I would agree. I think Big Little Lies, The Night Of, and Feud are the three that really stood out to me. Fargo, we had a bit of a drop off this season. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a bad show. It's just
no, not at all.
The 32 seasons. And Genius, I mean, it's just nice to be there, basically, for them.
Right.
So,
and Genius is taking the place that Young Pope should have had again.
Which Young Pope, I think, is actually a better show than Big Little Lies or The Night Of. So
right, and we'll talk about it on our year-end list at the end of the year. It's not got a contest Nostalgia Pod.
Stay plugging.
Young Pope's going to be high for me. You know, truth.
So let's jump to the comedy category. Comedy actress. We have Pamela Adlon for Better Things, Tracy Ellis Ross for Blackish, Jane Fonda, Grace and Frankie, Lily Tomlin, Grace and Frankie, Allison Janney for Janney for Mom, Ellie Camper for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep. So, I mean, do we have to really go through this category?
Yeah, last year it was JLD.
Yeah.
This year, no Issa Rae for Insecure. You know, I think she had a chance in this.
And Lena Dunham being left off.
And Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag. I didn't watch Fleabag, but everyone raved about her. So, you know, and Lena Dunham. Girls in general got really nothing besides guest actor nominations. So, it's great that Pamela Adlon is there for Better Things. She really carries that show. And I love them to spread the wealth and actually award someone else. But do I have confidence in that? No. I think Julia Dreyfus will win. They announced
Yep.
recently that the upcoming season of Veep will be the last one, so they'll probably just ride this out and keep
Yep.
giving it out till the show's over.
Game of Thrones treatment for Veep. Comedy actor. I mean, I think I know who my favorite is, but let's run through it quick. Anthony Anderson for Blackish, Aziz Ansari, Master of None, Zach Galifianakis for Baskets, Donald Glover for Atlanta, William H. Macy for Shameless, and Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent. I mean, Tambor's won this in the past.
Last year, in the past few years, it's been Jeffrey Tambor.
I think it's Donald Glover this year. I think Atlanta's going to clean up.
Yeah, interesting tell is that Transparent was not nominated for Outstanding Comedy Series this year for the first time.
Right.
So perhaps Tambor has a chink in his armor in terms of his case. It'd be great that Don Glover wins, and I'd love to see that. But, don't count out Tambor.
Yeah, I mean, Tambor's role, I think, is something that garners him a lot of attention when it comes to the voting. Now. But really, I mean, what Don Glover did with Atlanta and the way that critics just flocked to it, I would be more shocked if Atlanta didn't win these major categories. So yeah, jumping to a comedy series, we have Atlanta on FX, Blackish, right. ABC, Master of None, Netflix, Modern Family, ABC, Silicon Valley, HBO, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt, Netflix, Unbreakable, and Veep, HBO.
So remember, this is the 2 seasons ago for Silicon Valley, not the one we just watched. So it was a much stronger season. And Modern Family, again, idiotic that it's been nominated again. It was a great show. It got a ton of Emmy love. It has since moved past its time for this show, and frustrating that it's there, especially when you got rid of Transparent and you didn't nominate Girls.
Or Insecure, which I think would have been even more deserving than Girls. Right. I mean, that show obviously it's the first season. The second season seems to be even stronger, but that show has garnered a lot of attention. It pretty much blows up my Twitter timeline every Sunday night at this point.
So Atlanta is the best show on this list. It was one of the best shows.
By far.
It was both our number ones last year, right?
Yep.
So, and it was the most inventive and groundbreaking show on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, the HBO voting block could give it to Veep again. I really hope Atlanta wins because Atlanta's the most deserving choice. And the fact that it got nominated is great, but it needs to win.
Yeah, I think if Atlanta doesn't win, it actually takes something away from what it means to get an Emmy. Because, I mean, if it's basically going to be like if Game of Thrones, Veep, or these like TV shows that end up just being like, those monoculture shows end up just getting every award, then there's no real point in watching these. I mean, it's a little different for something like the Oscars where people aren't necessarily seeing these movies and it's almost a way to like showcase some of them. People watch the TV shows they want to watch. And if it's monoculture, most people are watching them anyway. So you need to be highlighting the shows that actually deserve it instead of just saying like, oh, everybody watches this show, let's give it an award. So that doesn't make something good.
And that's why Pamela Adlon winning for Better Things over Julia Louis-Dreyfus would be so great because it would be so meaningful. It doesn't mean anything to keep awarding Julia Louis-Dreyfus, even if she's still killing it.
Agreed. All right, so we're moving into the drama category. So drama actress, let's start there. We have Viola Davis for How to Get Away with Murder, Claire Foy for The Crown, Elizabeth Moss, Handmaid's Tale, Kerry Russell, The Americans, Evan Rachel Wood, Westworld, and Robin Wright, House of Cards. What the fuck is Robin Wright doing in there? Get these House of Cards nominations out of my face.
No Carrie Coon for Leftovers, as we said. Last year, this was won by Tatiana Maslany, the girl from Orphan Black. Orphan Black is not in this current Emmy cycle. So you look at this one, I think it's Elizabeth Moss, the clear favorite. Handmaid's Tale might win for drama, might not, but Moss winning for lead actress seems like a lock. If anyone was a challenger, it'd be Claire Foy.
That's what I was gonna say.
Just because The Crown did well last year and it's quite well liked. Nice to see Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys both still get their acting nominations this year.
They're never gonna win it though.
Right, they're never gonna win it. And The Americans was not nominated for a drama series this year, but I'm just glad that they're still on the board, even when Robin Wright's there.
Yeah, I agree with all your analysis. The only one I would say to highlight is Viola Davis. I mean, she's just so beloved as an actress, and she's on such a hot streak right now. She could sneak in there. Actor in a drama series. This is what Rami Malek, our boy, won last year.
Not even nominated. Damn shame.
Yeah, crazy. Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us, Anthony Hopkins, Westworld, Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Matthew Rhys, The Americans, Liev Schreiber, Ray Donovan, Kevin Spacey, House of Cards, and Milo Ventimiglia, This Is Us. I mean, get Liev Schreiber and Kevin Spacey just out of there.
Liev Schreiber in particular for Ray Donovan. Like Ray Donovan's another show that had a critical conversation years ago, and then that way away. Like, you know, fuck the Showtime shows that overstand the welcome. Thankfully, Homeland isn't on the drama list anymore. They finally stopped nominating that. But Ray Donovan, like, come on. Like, Justin Theroux obviously would have been there, leftovers, we know that. But Rami Malek, you kick Rami Malek off, he does way more with his role than Liev Schreiber, who just kind of plays like a straight man fixer.
Agreed.
And, like, Kevin Spacey, like, it's still good acting. Like, you know, it is a performance. I have no problem with him being on the board.
It's just super hammy, though. And
of course.
I don't know if that makes it good.
No, and see this one, I'd love Bob Odenkirk to win for Saul, but again, he wasn't the best actor on Saul. That was McKeon. I think Sterling K. Brown's probably going to run away with this for This Is Us. Everyone says he's the best aspect of the show, and he's the one who made the show more than just a mediocre show. He really, you know, brought it up and raised it up to its high status. And Anthony Hopkins doesn't really do a whole lot on Westworld. There's not much to that role. So his star power, I don't think, is as strong for the voting case.
Yeah, I think Sterling K. Brown is the favorite. But if anyone's going to beat him, I think it's going to be Bob Odenkirk. Just because, I mean, what he does on Saul, especially season 3, seems to be just. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's absolutely phenomenal. So I think if he's going to win, it's going to be now. All right, and we're getting to the final category. Drama series. We have Better Call Saul, AMC, The Crown, Netflix, The Handmaid's Tale, Hulu, House of Cards, Netflix, Stranger Things, Netflix, This Is Us, NBC, and Westworld, HBO. Strong choices here. A lot of choices I necessarily wouldn't have put on there.
Right.
Love to see Stranger Things get it. I'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, no Homeland, no Mr. Robot, Game of Thrones not eligible, Downton Abbey finished, Twin Peaks not eligible, no Americans, no Leftovers. Thrones won last year. So in that sense, the category is kind of fresh, right? And except for fucking House of Cards being there, like fucking bullshit. Westworld, HBO put all their money behind Westworld and not Leftovers, so they want that to win. I think it's
not going to win.
It's Handmaid's Tale, maybe Stranger Things.
Yep.
Or they go boring and pick The Crown, but I think it's Handmaid's Tale.
I think it's Handmaid's Tale as well, but I really love to see Stranger Things get the nod, just because the way that show like grabbed everybody's like attention, especially coming out of nowhere and with such like a story that is still like in the culture. I don't know, just feels like
it's such an important vote. You know, like it says a lot by picking it.
Absolutely.
That's all the main ones. I actually wanted to bring this up to you. So animated series was already given out along with the Guest Actor Awards. It was won by Bob's Burgers.
Yes. Love Bob's Burgers.
Other shows nominated were Arthur and Alina and the Secret of Valor, some Disney Channel show, The Simpsons, and South Park. But BoJack Horseman wasn't nominated for that, and neither was Samurai Jack. Kind of whack.
Stupid.
Also, since we've talked about these people from time to time, who do you think wins for Outstanding Variety Talk Series? Samantha Bee, Kimmel, Oliver, Corden, Bill Maher, or Colbert? Fallon, again, not nominated.
You know, I
Oliver
actually
won last year.
I think John Oliver probably wins, but I would love to see Samantha Bee get it.
Right. I think Colbert has a chance because he really had a resurgence.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And everyone likes Colbert. He's hosting, by the way, on CBS Sunday night.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So that'd be kind of funny if he won while he was hosting, actually.
Right.
But I agree. It'd be nice if Samantha Bee got some love, but I think Oliver, win again because he's just as good as he's been.
I agree. I forgot about how Colbert had really like dominated the election cycle.
Right.
I could see him winning it, but yeah, I would say probably Oliver, maybe Samantha Bee if they give it to the Real Quality.
Right.
Any other categories you want to talk about?
No, that's the main ones. I mean, the directing and writing categories we usually don't chime in on, but I think generally you can kind of pick those based off of how you feel the drama and acting categories are going to go. But
how many categories was how many nominations did Atlanta get?
Atlanta was not super high. I only wrote down
Probably
the top
5,
ones,
6.
but Westworld's SNL 22, Feud and Stranger Things 18, Veep 17, Big Little Lies and Fargo 16. So less than those.
Yeah, I think I don't know how many they got, but I could see Atlanta winning like 5 or 6 just because it was so critically loved. Glover is going to win for actor, probably best comedy series. He got director.
Right.
Probably got
And
1 or 2 technicals.
he had the Golden Globe love before too.
Right.
Important note. So NBC was third in nominations with 60 this year. Netflix was second. I hadn't said that yet. NBC. This is us, obviously the main force there. As a standard network show, don't underestimate the voting block behind that. People want to reward a old school network,
right?
Because they haven't had these kind of shows in a while. So don't underestimate that. I think This Is Us will definitely win, but I'm very curious to see how much Westworld wins because I think it could go down as one of the least nominated, most nominated shows.
I can see that for sure. I hope so. I don't think it's deserving. So if it just wins all these awards,
it's just so frustrating that we understand why HBO championed Westworld because it's a show that's going to continue for quite some time. It was so popular, but the fact that this means no one gives The Leftovers the time of day, which most critics say was the best show of the year thus far, or second best behind Peaks, like it's just ridiculous that they need to be, having their hand held to watch the best show, and on the other hand, they're progressive in a lot of other categories. Atlanta is still here, or is here. Master of None is still here. Like it looks good elsewhere, but then you see Westworld get everything, and fucking House of Cards and Ray Donovan are still around. Like,
right.
So it's a work in progress, but I'm very excited to see what happens Sunday night.
Definitely could be a move in the right direction or just more of the same. But we will find out. We'll be talking about it next week on Nowstalgia Pod. Find all of our stuff, soundcloud.com/nostalgiapod. Follow Dave at Martin Swagger. Follow me at Sheeny World Peace. Follow the show at Nowstalgia Pod. I will try to tweet out during the Emmys on Sunday night. If you have any thoughts, let us know. Tweet at us and ask us to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
We're going to wrap up there, but we will see you guys on Monday or probably Tuesday next week.
Yep.
Peace out.